Welcome to TLS Tuesday, where every Tuesday we dive a little more into the plot of Transformers The Last Sacrifice. And this week, we're going to be talking about how it starts. Low-key kind of excited to see how this turns out, but if you guys have any suggestions, ideas, or anything like that, feel free to comment down below. With that being said, let's get into it. In case you haven't seen the first video of what Transformers The Last Sacrifice is, here's a quick recap. Basically, Megatron wants to create his own super soldier and reactivate some Dark Energon Factory to fuel his creation. The two primary goals that Optimus has is to destroy the Dark Energon Factory and prevent Megatron from creating his super soldier. Now, if said super soldier is created and fueled with pure Dark Energon, he will be unstoppable and he will be chaotic under Megatron's hands. So, if he's completed, then everyone's low-key kind of cooked, I'm not gonna lie. Now, the first thing that we're going to be talking about is actually the prologue. This one is actually something I'm really kind of excited for because I don't really write prologues for a specific reason. Because one, I either don't know what to say, two, it's constantly repeated, or three, I just low-key don't know what to put. Okay, so this intro, or prologue, whatever you want to call it, is pretty much really inspired by the Transformers War for Cybertron game. He's pretty much talking about how his world is desolate, it's broken, bloodshed, and kind of how Megatron has his ambition to take over the world and corrupt it, a typical Megatron thing to do. And one thing that I actually have a really good passion about, and this is something I might try to do in 3D or make a set for specifically, but I want to have him at like this kind of patrol site, you know? So I kind of want to have him, well, at least start the scene at a patrol site because, you know, I want to have it so they're kind of like hearing things or, you know, trying to figure out what's going on because, I don't know, some type of interaction with the Decepticons is constantly going on and it's leading to this site, so they're gonna just go check it out kind of thing. But it kind of turns back or like something goes bad. I don't really know. That's kind of the thing I like about having prologues because I don't want to just have him talk and then it's a black screen. Obviously, I want to actually have him in a location and, you know, give him something to talk about versus him just, man, I cannot speak, versus him just talking with a black screen or a text. More on the patrol site, actually, is I want to have, you know, characters. Characters is going to be something very important for this project, by the way. I want to have characters like, you know, laying around, like, you know, they've been shot or something. Like, you know, if you have seen or any type of movie where it's like war related and they have like show like a preview of what might happen in the future or something like that, and they just have bodies laying around, or, you know, you can tell that something went down there, and that's kind of the goal that I want to go with. And honestly, I feel like that would be really cool. Like, I have a vision in my head of how I want to see it out specifically, but I'm still kind of like iffy about it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come out cool regardless. Now, for some ideas that I kind of did have previously before the patrol site, which honestly might end up being changed because, again, this is kind of like a rough draft. It's like a quote-unquote official rough draft. So this is something that if I don't change it, then honestly I'm pretty good with this. But I kind of want to have it where like something with ships flying in or something like that. I don't really know all the way because, again, I suck at writing or coming up with ideas for a prologue because I can either go all out or I don't go at all. But honestly, I'm not worried about it because low-key, I be coming up with some pretty creative stuff anyway. So if whatever I'm coming up with don't work, then I'm pretty sure I'll figure something else out. Or either you guys could leave something in the comment or give me some ideas or something like that. And honestly, that could work too. But one thing that I really, really want to try to do is with green screen or animation, whatever it is, 3D animation, whatever it is, I want to have a lot of stuff going on in the background. Which means I want to have like shooting effects going on. I want to have the filter, like not just the effects for guns or anything. I want to have like a filter where it seems like it's all like muddy or clouded or whatever. I hope you guys know what I'm trying to say, like grainy or something. Because honestly, I feel like that's pretty cool, especially for a war-themed movie, I guess. Now, something I was originally going to do is just have him standing there, and like the camera's going to like pan up to wherever he is. So, for an example, if he's standing on a cliff or whatever, or if he's standing in like a broken down building or something, whatever the case might be, I was going to have the camera pan up. He's going to look up or turn around or something like that, and then he was just going to start his prologue, because that is so something an Optimus would do. So I was like, I could do that, but I want to give it a lot more entertaining introduction. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just have him stationary. I want to have him move. I want to have him interact with the environment, and I want the environment to interact with him, because I don't want it to just be him walking. I want other people in the background to be moving. I want explosions to go off. Like, I want to have a very live background. I don't want to just have, oh, here's a room, here's Optimus Prime, he looks sad, hand to him, then start the prologue, because that's boring. Now, enough with the prologue. There's not really a lot to go on with it anyway, because it's kind of like straightforward. Like, we kind of all know what a prologue is. So there's really not a lot I have for it. So that's why I'm also kind of like open to any ideas that you guys may have. But another thing that I want to get into is just the first scene of this movie. Now, something I've definitely taken inspiration from a lot of movies that I've been watching recently is where they have the first scene show, like troops running or, footsteps. So you're not seeing the person running, but you're just having at the angle where you see the foot run by or their feet running by. And that is something I definitely want to do, because I feel like that kind of builds up anticipation of like, oh, they're rushing somewhere, what's going on? At least that would for me. So that's kind of like something I would really want to imply. Basically, I was like, I feel like that's kind of cool. I was going to start with something a little bit more visual and graphic. Like, maybe it was like a fight scene going on, like where there's a shootout versus something. I don't know. But this probably will change. But because it's not really that important. But at the same time, I don't want it to be too bland. So like I said, I want this to be a lot more visually appealing than my stop motions would normally. Now, the next thing that does happen after this little short scene of them running by is actually you get introduced into, Wheeljack. And I kind of wanted to have a few different characters in there as well. But honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if I want to just have him in the room, or if I want to have like someone like Ratchet or some other characters. I don't know. Maybe just have everyone chilling there. Like, I don't know. But one thing I could definitely do is have like some other, like I could get Perceptor in there, honestly, because I've never had him and I low-key really want him. So I'm probably going to do that now that I think about it. But if not, then the scene of them running in, and then I'm going to have Wheeljack kind of like checking energy levels and whatnot. And the reason why is because, like I stated in the prologue, once you'll hear it, I might do a little prologue sneak peek or whatever thing it's called, snippet, and to present you guys. But like I said, as per stated in the prologue, their resources are kind of like really dwindled. If like they're like heavily drained. My brain cell is not working. So basically, they're running out of power, running out of supplies, running out of stuff. So therefore, they're kind of like really having to make sure that they have, the energy, the energon to do stuff. Because if they don't, then they won't make it. And they're kind of struggling as it is. So if they lose their base and all their supplies, then they're really going to be cooked. So yeah, if that's not checked, then they're going to get checked off the list of living. Why am I so graphic? Like, not ravaged by war, like literally destroyed. Like there's no going back to it. Anyways, what happens next actually is kind of cool in my opinion, visually, because I kind of have an idea of how I want to do it. But there's going to be this explosion that happens in the background, right? So it's going to be all quiet. It's going to be all like, okay, so this is the room, and then boom, you just hear a huge explosion in the background. The building shakes, the camera shakes, everyone's tumbling over and everything. And I feel like that's going to give emphasis on how big that explosion was. So it wasn't just no little pop. It was like the whole place got trembled, basically. Not collapsing or anything, but it's like, you know, shaking aggressively, like an earthquake kind of thing. And it was actually kind of like close in proximity to them, so it's gonna have that effect even more. And the reason why I kind of wanted to do that is because I wanted to kick off the problem, or, you know, something that leads to the problem with, you know, excitement, something cool. So I decided to, like, you know, start it off with an explosion going on in the background, and now that's going to spike everyone's attention. The alarms are going to be going off. A whole bunch of stuff is going to be setting off, and honestly I feel like that's pretty cool in my opinion, because, like, you know, now everyone's engaged in a situation. Like, everyone was chilling, and then next thing you know, everyone's like on edge, like, yo, we were just fine 2 seconds ago, what happened? Now, and after that happened, the commander of the troops, which is, you know, the person who's going to be leading the troops, he's going to be actually the one talking to Wheeljack. And what I want to have is they're going to both realize, I'm like, yo, something is going wrong. The alarm, like I said, the alarms are going off, everyone's tweaking out. So, you know, we need to alert Prime, because, you know, if we don't alert Prime, then this might be a bigger problem that we can handle without him. So what I'm going to do is have Wheeljack and, you know, just inform Prime of what's going on. The energy, how low the energy ratings are, the explosion that just randomly appeared, and then try to, like, figure out what to do about it since he's not there. I have not actually figured out where he was going to be at. All I know, he's just not in the scene at all. So what I was thinking, maybe I can have him actually return from the patrol site from the prologue. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of floating with ideas here. So after they informed Prime, one thing I was like, I feel like would be pretty smart is for him to actually send out someone to investigate it, or a group to investigate it. And that's where this troop come from. Keynote, the commander, the voice crack was crazy, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The commander, his name is actually going to be Nexus. I low-key might change it. It sounds weird saying now, but it sounds pretty cool at the same time. Anyways, him and his team is going to go actually investigate the place, see what's going on, check out the area, see if anyone needs help. And as they arrive there, it's pretty much going to be like this kind of mysterious fog that's on the ground. It's not going to be like something like uncanny or like boring, like gray. It's actually going to be purple, and that's because, well, you guys are about to find out why. So when they get to the scene, they actually realize the explosion was at this abandoned mine, and this mine was abandoned for a specific reason, because Dark Energon was found there a long time ago, but no one really knew what it was, and it was kind of like, you know, corruptive. It was kind of like taking over people, making them do stuff, making them like tweak out, basically. And, you know, it's kind of like a hazard. So they was like, yeah, no, we not about to work here no more. So they closed that down and mined somewhere else. But the Dark Energon is still there. And pretty much Shockwave was responsible for even knowing about this, because it's Shockwave, of course. I haven't figured out how he discovered that yet, so I should probably actually think about that. But he sends a team to go retrieve it, and they, for some reason, blow it up versus just trying to sneak in there some other way. So that alerts everyone, because, you know, they're smart. So they arrive to the scene, and they actually find out that, you know, hey, there's a huge hole in this area that was supposed to be abandoned a long time ago. So obviously they went down there, and the purple fog is actually coming from that area. So yeah, the purple fog is basically because of the amount of time the Dark Energon has been crystallized. I don't know. Okay, all I know is that I want purple fog to come from out of there because it's like kind of mysterious and also kind of gives off Dark Energon vibes or something like that. So I just have it like that. I think it was pretty cool, honestly. Now, one terrible thing that actually happened because of this explosion, and also why it triggered the alarms and the power stuff and whatnot, is because it actually exploded right near a power generator. And this is kind of terrible considering that, they're already low on power as it is, low on energy. So given the fact that that just got exploded, kind of severely set them back even more. And even though I'm going to add multiple generators and everything, but this one specifically produces 2/3 of their power supply. So it's the biggest and most powerful generator they have, and it pretty much just got destroyed within literally moments. So that's going to set them back even more, which will actually be very, very important and unfortunate in the future. But I'm not going to say too much on that because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. Now for this one, I kind of want to have Wheeljack trying to contact the team to see if hey, could you figure out what happened, why the power might be going out and fluctuating. And they're just going to break it down to him saying, oh yeah, the generator got destroyed. Now, obviously it's going to be a little bit more serious than that, but it's pretty much destroyed, and Wheeljack is going to have to come up with something or something. I don't know. He's going to have to do something to try to fix it. But that's pretty much probably not going to get shown because that's more of a side thing. But I could show it at some point. I don't know how that's going to be. All I know is an idea, and it's most likely going to be in the movie. Now, this is a concept idea that I kind of had previously before the purple smoke and the power generator exploding or getting damaged, was that the purple fog was actually going to make people around the area or the vicinity of that it's in start acting different, being more aggressive, because it's a corruptive type of crystal or substance. So the gas itself, if it's gets in their system or something like that, it's going to also make them crash out, or either just start doing random things, or just, I don't know, just something very defective, basically. I don't know if I should keep that or not. If you guys like that idea, then, tell me in the comments, or either, if you have your own twist about it, let me know. Now, towards the end of this first part, it's more of Prime being informed of what's going on. So, pretty much he's going to be informed that they investigated the area. They found out that it was an abandoned mine that got blown up, and this mysterious fog is there and everything, and possibly corrupting people or defecting people. I don't know if that's going to stay or not. And he's going to also inform them that they found Decepticons there. This is something I really should have mentioned because it's seriously important. So the Decepticons that blew up the entrance is actually inside the mine, trying to get to the Dark Energon. Now there's going to be a lot of stuff everywhere because, one, it's not going to be full of Dark Energon. It's not going to be corruptive or anything like that. This is more of a controlled area for it, so it's not going to spread out like it normally probably would, but it is still going to be there, and it's still going to have that effect if you're around it for too long. So what I had in mind was that the Decepticons are going to go to this door. They're going to find out hey, this is where it is. Shockwave needs it. Let's hurry up and get it and get out. But because they alerted everyone, the troop or the team is going to, go down there eventually and find out that they're trying to get in there. Before attacking, though, they're trying to make sure that whatever they're trying to get to is actually there, so that way they can find out themselves. And once they do find out what it is, they're going to start attacking and making sure that, they don't get it, or the Decepticons don't get it. Now, this plan does somewhat work until the rest of the Decepticon troops get there. Because I want to have it like there's multiple ways of getting there. You have one troop, not multiple ways of getting there, multiple teams. So there's one Decepticon troop that's, checking the area, and then you have one at the front where the door is to the Dark Energon they're trying to get into. So it's going to be like at least like 4 of them there. One's trying to get in, and the other one's like trying to look out for everything, but somehow don't see the team of people coming down. I'm going to leave that in there because I find that funny, because Viacons are low-key slow like that. But another thing is that once they fight, they kind of, like I said, they alert everyone. So he's going to end up getting, the team is going to end up getting, overwhelmed, overrun and everything. So they're going to call for backup. Now, this backup is going to be a lot more armored, which means that Optimus is going to be there, Ironhide is going to be there, and Ratchet is also going to be there, because Ratchet is going to help with getting the information that Wheeljack needs, while also making sure that any Cybertronians or citizens or whatever outside get the attended help that they need. So pretty much it's just mainly going to be Ironhide and Optimus there to help them. After Optimus and Ironhide arrive, they actually get the upper hand because power and also numbers. They're pretty much just going to be wiping them out, and then one is going to be left in order to get information. So they're going to pretty much take him, interrogate him, and try to get as much information out as they can. Now, one funny thing I want to have is, once they're in the room, he's going to be like all big talking with Ironhide, but like, I'm not going to tell you nothing. And then Ironhide, no. And then Optimus is going to be like, just nod to look at, he's going to look at Ironhide, right? He's going to nod at him and be like, no, you got this. So Ironhide is going to like be all intimidating, be all aggressive with him and everything. So like, so you don't want to talk? I can do something to make you talk. Pause. Yo. So after a while, he actually ends up getting the Viacon to talk, and then he's going to get a lot of information out of him. So with this being said, he's going to end up trying to lie and say, oh, I don't know where the factory is, I don't know where anything's going on, which is partially true. And then Ironhide is going to, like, he has this feeling that he's lying, and Optimus is like, just the sooner you can tell us what we're dealing with or anything like that, give us what we need, the sooner you can, leave. So basically what I think should happen is the Viacon is going to get even more intimidated and scared, and eventually give them a device that he was given by Shockwave in order to find the location of Dark Energon. Now, it's not going to give them any location of where it is, not where it is, but where the factory is or anything like that. But I do want to have some type of, hint of where it could be. Now, this device is going to end up getting given to Wheeljack, and he's going to look at it, analyze it, decrypt it, all that good stuff. And he's just going to be like, hey, yo, I think we actually have a lead here, because, it's Wheeljack. And then one funny part is, I kind of have this idea where Wheeljack is going to end up finding, like, getting some information. He's going to tell Optimus. Optimus is going to have this pretty much encouraging speech, and he's just going to be like, yo, this Megatron is up to something again, and it clearly seems that they need whatever this is, because the Autobots have no clue that it's Dark Energon. So, well, at least during this moment, during the prologue he mentions it, but during this moment they don't know about it just yet. So this is before they find out. So So basically, he's going to be like, so Megatron clearly wants to do something with this, or Shockwave, whoever. But this is actually extremely important to the story because this is what starts it off. This right here, them discovering the Dark Energon, or at least, what happened to my finger? Anyways, this pretty much gives Prime the realization that Megatron, whatever he has in mind, or whatever he's planning, needs to be stopped. Because clearly, it isn't going to be any good if it's, if it's that serious for them to be going into Autobot territory, causing explosions and whatnot. So whatever this is serious enough for Megatron to put in action, or Shockwave, whoever. So they're basically trying to come up with some ideas, trying to figure out why this is happening, what it's for, who is it for, what could it, lead to, what can this thing do, all these types of questions that cannot be answered. So this is just prolonging Prime's paranoia that Megatron is about to do something real messed up. So this is what starts triggering Optimus to be serious, like dead serious, because basically, I forgot to mention this, but from the first video, there's like barely any Autobots around, at least strongly functioning ones. So, and Megatron wants to wipe everyone out, take control of Cybertron universe, all that good stuff. So if he can succeed in getting rid of the Autobots, then he pretty much has free reign to do whatever. Now that kind of really sums up the first part of the plot, and it's not really that informative. It's not really that detailed or anything like that. Well, not detailed, but it's not a lot going on because it is the beginning, so it's not going to be like immediately all funny, all fun stuff, all entertaining. So that stuff is going to be like after this. Like once we get past this part, things will actually start making more sense. Things will start to flow more, and things I feel like will be a lot more interesting. And the last thing that I ask for you guys is comment down below if you like this new thing that I have going on with the TLS Tuesdays. There will be more stuff that I'll talk about more in the future, but I kind of wanted to get in detail with the plot of The Last Sacrifice, but I didn't want to make this one long huge video, and I kind of wanted to at least have some day that I can talk about it, but have enough room for it to like grow, like ideas or some other stuff. I didn't want to just mush it all into one video, because low-key I'd probably get bored, and I know it's kind of boring watching it. So I'm like, nah, I think it's just better to put it in a little series. Now, this isn't the only thing that will happen for this movie. Obviously, there's going to be behind the scenes stuff, progress of what I'm doing, like scripting, ideas, or concept art, or anything like that. I will be showing you guys that as well, and that's going to have like its own little series, I guess. I don't know exactly. Like I said, I'm like trying to figure all this out myself. But yeah, if you guys have anything you guys would like to add or suggest, as always, feel free to comment down below. And yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more about TLS, Transformers: The Last Sacrifice, then leave a like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this. Until next time, peace.